All right, everybody. Good morning. Welcome. I want to share this quote with you all. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to silence, sorry, not silence. I'm going to mute everybody just so we don't have any background noise. And feel free to unmute yourself as we go along here. But just wanted to start out with this quote. For some of you that don't know me, welcome to our Tuesday morning meeting. I'm Benny. It's a pleasure to meet you virtually. I heard this quote today driving in from Les Brown, and he said that when you no longer fear dying, what else can life threaten you with? And he didn't quote who wrote that quote, but it made me think about everything that's going on today in the world. And I wanted to share this quick little story. Some of you have heard this before, some of you not. In 2006, I was going to school and working a full-time job. And I had two different friends call me within a 1 month period, and both said that I should get into real estate because they thought that I was a very likable person and that everybody's mom always loved me, and that I would probably be very successful if I did get into real estate. And so I turned down both offers, but eventually it piqued my curiosity, and I went to one of the real estate offices where my friend worked. And pretty much you can imagine, it's 2006. The parking lot was full of Mercedes-Benzes, except for the broker. He had a brand new Range Rover. All the guys wearing amazing suits, and the women were dressed fabulous, and you could smell the money. It was just really amazing. And I thought to myself, gosh, everybody's making money here. I want to join the gang. So I started taking Saturday classes to get my real estate license, and finally passed the test. And one thing that I'll remember, that I remember very clearly, was I had already, I don't know if every real estate school does this, but the one that I was at, they would have you come in at a certain chapter in the book, and you would stay till that chapter came back around. And so I had already come back around the chapter and even stayed for a couple extra chapters. And finally, one day they said, if we call your name, you now have a test date and you need to go take your test and get your license. And I remember being so fearful of that, the fear of not passing the test. And I remember thinking, what if I don't get my license? And it was funny because, if you study and you want it, you're going to get it. If you put in the time in training, if you put in the time in educating yourself, you're going to get it. I remember telling my cousin once, I said, man, Lisa, I'm so proud of you because you got a degree in communications. I go, I wish I was smart like you. And she says, no, I'm not smart. All I did was give up 4 years of my life to get a degree. Wow. So anyways, fast forward, guys, June 2007, I walk into the real estate office, and what is everybody doing? They're walking out. You want to talk about a pandemic. Yes, right now we're going through a health pandemic, but talk about a financial pandemic. And I guarantee you that around the world, people lost their lives as well during that financial pandemic, So I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about that today, about, we're going to have obstacles come and go from our life, personal obstacles and obstacles outside of us. And you know what? Here's what's the craziest thing. So I got my license in June 2007. People were getting out of the business at that time. And I opened my first escrow with my cousin in August. So I joined in June. 2 months later, 3 months later, I opened my first escrow, right? Which is why we always tell you guys, focus on your sphere of influence. Talk to your friends and family because they trust you, especially you newer ones, right? That's probably where you're gonna do your first deal more than likely. It was a short sale. I remember telling my cousin, I was brand new, I said, you know what the greatest thing is? You're gonna have your house in a couple of weeks because it's a short sale. not knowing that it was a short pay sale and that the bank would have the ultimate say on this transaction. And it ended up going for about 3 months. I think we closed August, September. I think late October we closed on that. A few months later, I did an open house on a bank-owned property in Downey. I remember thinking, it's 575. If I sell that house, I will become rich. I was 25 years old at the time. I ended up not selling that house, but meeting my second client and selling them a house in Bellflower for $625,000. It was my first sale that I did under Bruce Mulhern. You know, at that time, people were reluctant to buy. They were scared. The market had gotten slashed in half, right? But you know what? I still was making a couple deals there, a couple sales in that market, brand new. So when people ask me, you know, how's your market right now? Are you guys being affected by this? Are people still selling? I tell them, you know, in any market, people are going to sell. You know, it's all about your proactiveness, your attitude, and your persistence. If you have the tenacity in you to break through, you will in any market. You know, one of our agents once said to me, I want to sell so bad, I can't wait to write my name on the board. You know, and I said, well, if you really want it that bad, you will. And you know what? He's gone on. I think he's on sale number 4 already. So if you want it bad enough and you take massive action and you do everything in your power to learn about this business, you will succeed. Last night, Don Roberts and I went to dinner at Madera's here in Los Alamitos. The owner walked in right when we sat down. This guy knew his business. He loved his business. He was telling us about the chilies that they use in the mac and cheese. He was telling us about how they import them once a week from New Mexico. He was telling us about his prime beef that he uses, talking about his steaks, talking about his barbecue, the whole process of it. I mean, you could tell this guy loves what he does. I share this with you because, and don't answer this, but do you love what you're doing? You know, do you have the, you know, can people look at you and go, that person loves real estate? They talk to you for 10 minutes and go, yeah, that person absolutely loves it. If the answer is no, that doesn't mean you're wrong. All it means is you need to focus a little bit more. It means that you need to go back to the Saturday Series for Success. You need to be on Debbie DeGroat's call this Thursday at 1:30. You need to be online looking up Tom Ferry, looking up Mike Ferry, looking up Brian Buffini, reading about real estate, you know, running CMAs in your neighborhood, practicing your scripts, doing your presentation. You know, I remember when I was a little boy, I wanted to be in a rock band so bad, but I didn't know anybody else in the band. So you know what I did? I recorded the guitar part and then jumped on the drums and played that back and used another, you know, speaker to record that, and then did another recording and then sang. And I had my own band. Sometimes you have to be your own band. So sometimes you might need to go and practice your scripts on your own and do your presentation on your own. It's funny. This morning I got to the office, I want to say about maybe like 7:45, you know, and that's probably the only time when I get here that early. But the reason why is because I got to put on a show for you guys. That's the way I look at it. I need to bring energy and information and content for you guys so that you guys can go out there and succeed on a major level. And I'm committed to that, you know, and I just ask that you do the same for yourself in moving forward. Now more than ever, here's the greatest thing, is they're opening up all the cities. And some of you have come to me and you've said, hey, Benny, you know, can I do open house? No, you can't. Can I go door knock? No, you can't. Should I cold call? You know what? It's a little insensitive at this time, right? But I'm telling you, in a few weeks here, it's all going to open up. And I just hope that those of you that ask me will actually go out there and take advantage, because I'll tell you what, I never used to go to a park and sit and have a lunch on a park bench. I never did. Not until COVID-19, when I could no longer sit anywhere else and eat. I took a park bench for granted. I will never do it again. I promise you that. So without further ado, let's get started, everybody. Does anybody have any new listings or buyers that you'd like to bring up? And please go ahead and unmute yourself if you do. Okay, I got Renee here in the office live. Can you unmute yourself, Renee? Yeah, hold on. Or you want me to do it? I'll do it. Can you hear me? No, I can't. Yeah, I can hear you. You can? Okay, go ahead. Hi there. Yes, I've got a buyer. We're in escrow on their property. Can you guys hear him? Yes, no? In your ear? In my ears, yeah. Yeah, okay.
She sounds really far away.
Oh, he sounds far. No, you know what? You're not on there, dude. Here, come over here and say it. Here, guys, if you've never met Renee, here you go. You can see him now. Or actually, well, no, you're fine. Come on, just talk. They're not going to be able to see it.
That's okay.
But go ahead.
Yeah, got a buyer. We're in the escrow on the property. Scheduled to close at the end of the month. She's looking for either a house with a guest house or 2 to 3 units up to 800,000, hopefully in Orange County. She would prefer a nice house with a guest house. So if anybody's got anything out there, they're already pre-approved. They're going to be putting about $300,000 down on the property. Please let me know if you have anything.
Cool. All right, guys, let me, anybody else got anything to share? Let me, if not, I want to go into our CRMLS real quick. Sorry, I'm doing it again. I need to log in here. You can still see my screen, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. I got my here, Don Roberts, thank you. Yeah. Okay, let's go in here and I just want to see if we got any new listings. Yes, I read this, I read that. Okay, let's see here. All right, there we are. Okay, yes, I think we do. So in Santa Ana, oh, wait a minute. Well, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm looking at something else. My bad. That's not correct. Oh, it's not bringing it up, is it? Oh, you know what? It's not. You know, guys, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to come back to this later. Anyways, we will definitely send you guys out whatever is active right now. From what I know, we probably do have a couple listings still. But they have them. So anyways, here, let's continue. Let's go on to the numbers. So currently we've got 12 pending transactions. So congratulations to everybody. I do know that these are just our listings that are being uploaded in the SkySlope, or purchases as well. And some of you are still not uploading right when you open. So please try and do that, guys, so we can have a better number of this. But at least uploaded transactions, we've got 12. Patrick Delaney, Rosie Malgoza, congratulations. Angie Sandoval, Wallace Ho, Jolie Piccolini, Jean Browning, Angie Sandoval, Eduardo. Again, Jean, wow, really doing great. And then Renee's on there too. I'm also happy to report to you guys that I just received a phone call that I opened escrow on a transaction in La Palma a few minutes ago. So that's great news too. 3 closed transactions for the month so far. We are on the 9th, but as I track SkySlope every day, I do see several closings coming this week. So we are on track and doing really good, despite you know, what the news and media are saying out there. And then I want to really point out and congratulate our own Christina Furneaux. hopefully she doesn't get mad at me for sharing this, but I believe she's carrying about 5 escrows open currently, and she closed 2 last month and closed another one on June 1st. So she's definitely kicking a lot of butt in this market. I asked her what she thinks about COVID-19, and she goes, you know what? COVID has probably been the best thing for my business. You know, so who knows what a lot of people are thinking, but I know that personally I can tell you the one that I just opened escrow on, the quote on the rate was 2.75 on a jumbo VA, which is pretty much unheard of, with 0 money down at I believe 835. So the unheard of rates, definitely a huge difference in payment on a monthly payment from say 2 months ago. So keep that in mind with your buyers. If they're holding off or waiting on the sidelines, these rates are amazing. So want to give a really huge congrats to Marjorie Tyson, making number 9 on the top 25 for the month of May. Congratulations to her. She's really been putting in the effort and the hard work. So that's really awesome. Also, for the top 35 agents year to date through May, first let me go over the teams. Nancy and Feng, the mother and daughter team here at Cypress, just amazing, great work ethic, and really resourceful, really touching into their database to get to number 7 in our top teams. And then, of course, the Morales team, number 8 in the company as well. We're really proud of them. On the individual agents, number 17 with Tamara Michike, again, another really great agent with a lot of strong energy. And she's definitely pulling her numbers up this year. So we really tip our hats off to her. And then, of course, like I mentioned, 21, Christina Furneaux, kicking a lot of butt. I would not be surprised if she's in the top 10 next month. And, of course, that last but not least, my best dressed man here, Renee Nava with number 28. So congrats to you guys all. Good job. All right, let's talk to the one and only Christy Rye.
Christy.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Congratulations everyone. Dang man, Cypress is on the map. That's awesome. Woo. It must be the incredible leadership.
There you
it's
go.
A combination of you know, everything. It's the perfect blend. So, hey guys, I wanted to talk to you. I'm going to do a title tip this morning. I want to talk to you because I had a situation on a file yesterday, and the agent said, Christy, you need to be screaming this from the rooftop, which I do. I always bring this up, but unfortunately, she never goes to office meetings. She never attends. It's not one of our Cypress agents, so I'm not calling anybody out, but it really pays to go to the office meetings because you pick up information you would have missed. So yeah. She has a transaction. The property's in a trust. The original trustor, the creator of the trust, the original owners, mom and dad, passed away. Now the kids are selling the property and they couldn't find a copy of mom and dad's trust. And the agent, she's just trickling in everything that they give her, copy of the tax roll. So I replied, I go, I already have that. That's of record. Then she sends me a copy of the deed, putting the property into the trust. And I said, well, I already have that as well. That's recorded. Then she sends me the affidavit of death of trustee that the kids recorded, making it of record that mom and dad had passed. Well, guess what? I already had that because it was recorded. And it was just crazy to me. She really she didn't know what she was dealing with. So she said yesterday, she goes, what are we going to do if we can't find the trust? And I said, you are going to have to go to court, because without the trust, how can we determine who has the power to sign on behalf of the original trustees? The trust is our instruction booklet, the desires of the parties who created the trust. There's no wiggle room. We can't deviate from what their wishes were. Only the courts can intervene in that situation. So I put on my Christy Rye private eye hat. And by the way, this trust was created back in 1994. So I found the name of the attorney that created the trust. And now I'm fearful, thinking, wow, what if this attorney's even in business anymore? And lo and behold, first number I dial, I find the original attorney, which was amazing. And she was also very kind, very helpful. Not sure if she even has a copy of the trust anymore because it's been so many years, but she is going to check her storage today. But she's not even going to charge for it if she finds it. I remember I had a transaction with an agent at Berkshire Hathaway in the Bellflower office years ago. When the same situation happened, the next of kin who were selling the property for the original trustees of the trust, the creators of the trust, they had passed, and the next of kin couldn't find the trust either. And I found the attorney. He was able to pull it off of some disk drive that he had in storage, and he charged the owner or the kids, he charged them $500 for a copy of the trust, which I thought was just total extortion. Just a plain copy, you know, he emailed it over, he didn't even print it, charged $500 for that. So I was very grateful to hear that this nice lady is not going to charge us. But lo and behold, I talked to the son last night, and I went over everything with him, what the trust looks like, what it'll say, and wouldn't you know it, while I'm on the phone with him and he's going through all this paperwork, he had the trust. So now I just got a text that it's been delivered to my office so I can review it and get back to everybody so that we can get moving, and now she can put the property on the market. But she was really stressed and really frustrated, and she said, Chrissy, gosh, this is so important. You have to tell everyone. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna do what I'm told. So keeping a trust is critical. Even if, let's say you have a trust in the 90s and then you go and you decide to take the property out of that trust and put it into a new trust that maybe you do, you know, in 2020. The old trust is still critical. You have to keep it. Why? Because if you were to pass and that 2020 trust is now in effect, title still has to review the 1994 trust. We have to make sure that the guidelines of that trust were followed through. That liability, that responsibility is placed on title. So we don't like having to ask for copies of all this personal information, but we're required because we have to make sure, A, we have the right people signing, and B, we have the right people in place doing what they're supposed to do based on what the trust says. So when you're talking to clients, you guys, just make sure you hear the word trust. Always be having that conversation with your clients and just say, look, you have this trust from, you know, your parents from the 90s, or even it's yours. Don't discard it. Keep a copy. Always keep a copy someplace. Because guys, I tell you, it happens so often where the family members, their loved ones pass, they have no idea where mom and pop kept the trust. And they just think because it's in the trust, a deed's recorded, they can just sell the property. And then you know what? The kids get very offended when we are telling them we need a copy of that trust to make sure we have the right parties signing. As you can imagine, they're going through a lot. But without that trust, we don't have the rules. We don't know what the next step is. And I'd like to open it up for questions. Does anybody have any questions? Because I'm looking at the chat if you want to put something in, or just unmute yourself. Nobody?
You know, Christy, real quick, it's funny you mentioned that. I actually had a call from a client yesterday. Mom just passed a couple days ago and had a trust, but did not put that property in the trust. And now it's going to probate, and they have their first court date scheduled for October of this year. So,
yeah. And Benny, that's called a Hegstead order. They have to get a Hegstead order. So they're going to petition the court to get the Hegstead going. And it is now you present that trust to the courts, and it's proof that it was the intent of the owner to have that property in a trust. And, you know, really important to you guys, people's trust, make sure they have that Exhibit A that lists their assets. When you get a trust, the attorney asks for a copy of your assets and what properties you wish to put in the trust. Some properties they may want in the trust, other properties they may not, maybe because it's a business venture, but they have to physically name the properties in the trust. And it's as easy as getting your Exhibit A out that's already been typed up by the attorney, and you handwriting additional properties that you acquire and then initialing next to it and dating it. It's that simple. But if the property isn't mentioned in that Exhibit A, it makes it really difficult for all parties, because how do they prove it was the intent of the trustee to have that property in their trust? So we're seeing more and more trust. And another thing I want to add on to this, power of attorneys. So this is another agent that they sent me a power of attorney. And I said, okay, so why are they using the power of attorney? Well, because she's elderly. It's just too difficult for her to sign. Mom's getting put in a home. So I took it upon myself to run the address, because oftentimes, you guys, when somebody has a power of attorney, they also have a trust, because your estate planning attorney will give you the full package, which consists of a trust. This is if you own real estate, a trust, pour over will, and a power of attorney. So I thought, I'm going to run the property and see if the property's in a trust. And sure enough, the agent didn't even know the property was held in a trust. So I called him and I said, look, I don't need the power of attorney. I need the trust. Get me the trust, and it will tell me what are we supposed to do, who's supposed to sign, because mom is unable or unwilling. But when they're going into a home, most of the time it's because they have mental capacity issues. The trust actually called out for a letter from 2 physicians that the mother is no longer of sound mind and not able to make her own financial decisions. And that's what the trust says. And the agent goes, are you serious? We have to get that? I said, don't get mad at me. Look, it's in the trust. We have to follow the guidelines of the trust. There's no wiggle room around that. The trust prevails. So this is great stuff, isn't it?
Thank you. Yes, definitely. Thank you for sharing with us. As always, remember everybody, Christy Rye, the Rye team, on all of your transactions for title. She's a wealth of knowledge. If you ever, I don't want you to flutter with unnecessary questions, but believe me or not, she knows a lot, and not only title, but a lot in real estate. So, sometimes, she's your trusted affiliate. So please keep her in mind.
Benny, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody at the Cypress office. And if we have new members coming over from Santa Ana, I see Mary Abbasi's on the Zoom. I just want to say thank you to you guys for your love and support. You're like family, and you always treat me like family back. And I want to just make sure that you know how valuable you are, not only to myself, but to the Rye team and to our livelihood. And I truly appreciate every single title order that I receive from you, that we receive from you. Every order we get is job security for me and my team, and and it's income to keep our families going and prosper. And I love what I do. Benny asked, do you love what you do? Because if you don't, you might want to revisit, have a talk with yourself. But I was sitting here going, be quiet, because I think all of you know I love what I do, and I get to work with incredible people like all of you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support.
Awesome. Thank you. Dennis, give me a quick sec. I'm just going to have one more affiliate on, and then we'll have you share your words.
And just, hey, Christy, thank you for playing big on behalf of Orange Coast Title. You're awesome, and thank you.
Oh,
yes.
thank you, Dennis. Thank you so much, you guys. Well, I hate to do this, but I got to run to go over to Bixby's office meeting, okay?
Good. Thanks for being on the call.
All right. Love you guys. Mwah.
Hey, everyone. When I first started in the business, it's funny. I used to wonder if people thought I was a lender, because I would tell them I'm a real estate agent, and they go, what's the interest rate? And they'd always trump me. I was first, second year in the business. Like, interest rate? How am I supposed to know the interest rate? I'm not a lender. But, over time, I decided, maybe it behooves me to know the interest rate and know about, loan programs out there and know things. So I always love talking to the next guy on this call. I call him Mr. Money, and please welcome Joe Coy of New American Funding.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I got some mortgage updates for you. As Benny had mentioned previously, rates are excellent right now. It's really hard to believe how low they actually are. I've been locking in some VA loans around 2.75%, 30-year fixed rate mortgages. FHA, you're looking at about 2.875. If you're looking at a conforming conventional, around 3.125, and for a high balance conventional mortgage, about 3.25%. So in general, right around 3% for most mortgage rates across the board. It's pretty incredible. It is very, very helpful for the affordability factor for our clients. Makes a huge difference in their monthly payment. rates were about 1% higher about, 9 months ago. And for most clients, you're seeing a reduction in their mortgage payment by $300, $400, $500, $600 per month, depending on what the loan amount is. So for those clients that maybe were in a tough price point, a year ago, maybe they can be looking at homes priced slightly higher today and still be comfortable with the payment. Another important update that I want to give you guys is on FHA and VA, as well as USDA loans, government loans across the board. At one point, we had increased our FICO score requirement to 620 once everything had started with the COVID-19. FICO score requirements have recently come back down to 580. So a lot of lenders are still requiring a FICO score of 660, 680 on government loans, but we're offering your government loans with a FICO score as low as 580. So if you have any clients that could use that, send them my way. I'd be happy to get them qualified. We'll always give your clients suggestions on what they can do to increase their FICO score. Of course, the higher their FICO score, the better the interest rate, the higher they qualify for. But if they're looking to buy immediately with their current FICO score, we are going as low as 580. When they are between 580 and 619, there's two requirements they need to meet. 2 months of reserves, and they need to be at their current job for 6 months. If they have a FICO score of 620 or higher, they don't need to meet those additional requirements. I've seen a lot of competition out there in the market recently. It's been difficult for our clients to get their offers accepted. It seems like every home has multiple offers. It's going above the asking price. And I've noticed a lot of agents looking to shorten their contingency periods on their offers. That's definitely something that we can help you guys with. On an appraisal, you can probably put about 8 days on the appraisal contingency, low contingency about 10 days. And, depending on the client, we can close a transaction in 20, 25 days. I do recommend that you have those conversations with me before assuming that you can use these low contingency periods for all clients across the board, because some clients have situations that require a longer closing time frame. Maybe they're using a down payment assistance program. Maybe they just have a tricky loan. Maybe they're not quick at turning in documents to the lender. But for those clients who everything's pretty straightforward, they're good at communicating, they're quick to turn in any documents that we're requesting, we can really cut down on those contingency periods, try to get you that offer accepted. Another thing that I would recommend is having me reach out to the listing agent after you submit the offer. The listing agents appreciate hearing from the lender. They like to know that there's going to be that open line of communication. So if they have questions during the transaction, they know that they're going to be able to get a hold of me. But we'll be able to give them that confidence about the client as well. Let them know a little bit about their finances, what their debt to income ratio is, how much of a down payment they're putting down. A big question today is has their job recently been impacted by the COVID-19? I'm getting a lot of that. So there's a lot of information that we can share with them to make them feel more comfortable about your client's finances and accepting that offer. I recently made a call for one of Nancy's clients yesterday. This property had some pretty serious damage to the home. We're going to be able to do a drive-by appraisal so they don't see some of the damage at the rear of the property. They're just seeing the front of the home. But the agent was very appreciative about that. It definitely addressed some of her concerns regarding that property and the financing that would be used to close it. That's what I got for you guys today. Let me know if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Just to piggyback on what Joe was saying, everybody, I've experienced it myself. Multiple offers. I wrote an offer for a client, first down the market, 900,000, and started getting multiple bids all the way to 935, and we did not get that property. On all of my offers, I've always written them at 21-day escrows, 14-day loan and appraisal contingencies, and usually, most often than not, end up asking for extensions on every single item. And as long as you communicate with that listing agent and the lender is communicating with that listing agent, I don't see any issues getting those extensions. So just keep that in mind. One thing that I have noticed right now, and Joe, I'm sure you have too, is, the disclosures initially going out from the lender are taking a little bit longer than normal. So the appraisals are being ordered almost at like 20 days. I'm sure that Joe could put a rush on them and probably shorten that time frame. But you know, just keep in mind there are still some impacts from you know, an overage of loan. The refi business had flooded the lending market, so there is that. But you got to be very competitive right now with your offers. Again, like I mentioned with you, I just opened one today in La Palma, and that we kept going up and up. We started at 820. The other agent that showed it went to 830. We went to 835. The other agent threatened to write their offer at 845. I called the listing agent. I said, look, we could keep doing this all day till we get to 900. The question is, who's going to guarantee the place will appraise, and who's going to guarantee that the people are going to come up with cash to make up that appraisal? I go, and worst thing now is appraisals are taking so long. You're going to be 2 weeks in an escrow where people are just going to walk on you because it didn't appraise and they don't want to come up with the money. Can you afford to risk losing your listing with your seller for having wasted 2 weeks taking a high offer that won't appraise? And he goes, you know what? I don't want it to go that high anyways. He goes, we'll let you know in the morning. And I actually got it. Even though the other people offered 10 grand more, you know, I let him know, hey, just because they offer you 10 grand more doesn't mean that they're going to come up with the difference or actually appraise at that value. So just things to keep in mind. You know, there are multiple bids right now, but, you know, check your comps, make sure that, you know, you're not going to have appraisal issues in the future. Before I bring on the amazing Dennis Rosas, I just want to give a shout out to everybody that has joined us. We have 13 total new agents that have joined the office. Some of you are from Santa Ana, and some of you have joined us from other companies. Melanie, Marlene, Angelica, Jennifer, Rebecca, Glenda, Maria, Bernadette, Mary, Victoria, Eric, Lorraine, Carolina, and Lourdes. We welcome you all with large, wide open arms. We welcome you to our family. I say family because this office really has a very family-like environment. They're very warm. I think if I was at any other office, I might have to tell them, hey guys, when you come in, you might see a couple new faces. Be nice and warm to them, but I don't feel I need to say that because you'll soon find out that the gang is very welcoming. If you're looking for something in the office or need help with something, they will jump in and make sure to help you out and point you in the right direction. So again, we look forward to seeing you as the days progress here in the office. Any questions, I'm always available by phone. And Joe Coy, Nancy called me the other day. I was watching Casablanca at 8:30 at night on a Sunday. And she goes, I'm so sorry to bother you. I go, don't worry. It's the 20th time I've watched Casablanca. You're not interrupting anything. So I'm here for you guys. Even when I'm not in the office, I'm available on my phone. And unless I'm on an appointment, you know that I pick up my phone. So, all right. Without further ado, the one and only president, the only guy who could run alongside Bruce Mulhern and actually keep up, Mr. Dennis Rosas.
Well, thank you, Benny. Thank you, John Greer. Thank everybody in the Cypress office. First off, I just want to say thank you, and I'm going to just take a few minutes of your time. And I want to step back a little bit. Middle of March, the Governor Newsom, you know, put us to stay at home, being safe, and some of us may have been a little stubborn and neglectful for a couple of days, and we'd be behind the issues. But for a few weeks in March, Governor Newsom considered real estate non-essential businesses, non-essential business or individuals. And then they finally changed that late March. Now, of course, we still basically closed offices. We cannot have open houses and certain things. We have to, you know, wear a mask, which reminds me of a story just a few weeks ago. When I get home in the evenings, my wife asks, now, not how is your day, but how many Zoom calls do you do every day? Or, you know, and ask me, what was the sharing? And my wife reminded me of something. She goes, dear, I love you a lot, but I got to tell you, she goes, as an honest wife, when we've been married 35 years, you don't have a face for Zoom. You got a face for radio. That's an old Rodney Dangerfield joke, okay, is that good looking like guys like Benny and John Greer, they can do Zoom calls. People like Dennis, we have to hide our face, and so we got to do radio and you hear our voice. In all seriousness, how do you have fun in the business world? How do you look at the things of challenges? And I'm going to say what I like to talk to about, and it's my theme for the week. Adversity creates opportunity when you have the right perspective. I'm going to repeat that. Adversity creates opportunity when you have the right perspective. The right perspective, this means our managers, our agents, our buyers and sellers. So going back, having the right perspective is caring, showing, working for others, providing service. So when Governor Newsom finally agreed that we are an essential worker at late March, the question that I'm asking agents, at the end of this year, will your family consider you an essential worker? Because you created value for your family. You created income. Whether it's 2 sales in the second half of the year, 4 sales, or like the rock stars, like Christina and others in the Cypress office, maybe 10 sales or 12 sales or 14 sales. Your goals are you being the best version of you for you and your family. So December 31st, 2020, will your family consider you an essential worker? So in helping you, we've been doing on Thursdays 1:30 to 2:30, 2:45 sessions, which I call the theme, helping our agents work effectively from home. It's focusing on being effective from home because you can pick up your cell phone and you can call 5 people today or text 5 people or 5 emails, and you can create value in 30 minutes from home. You don't have to go in the office. Now, please, I love that you guys go in the office and be safe with the mask if you're less than 6 feet. But the reality is, are you creating value for your family? Are you an essential worker? So this Thursday is our 13th session of helping agents work from home. It is Debbie DeGroat speaking out, and I've had this request, tripling your business from your sphere of influence. It's very simple. The sphere of influence are those who we love, who we trust, who we know, who we connect with. And conversely, your sphere of influence are those who love and trust you on a business level. But remember, it's our job to stay connected to our sphere of influence. It's not their job to remember us as their real estate person. They do know other people. Superstars like Carol Chen who've been in the business, and Carol's done volunteer work and been involved with city council, Cerritos, and now I'm embarrassing her, but I just want to give her respect. She knows a lot of people, and a lot of people know Carol. So no disrespect, it's our jobs to connect with them, to remind them. And by the way, if Carol's too busy for those referrals, she could work out a referral source with somebody in the Cypress office with John and Betty. So we're lucky to have you, Carol, in the company for so many years, and thank you. I'm not going to embarrass you. But my point is, will your family consider you an essential worker at the end of the year? What can we do to help you? What can we do to help you with your business? Whether you show up this Thursday or not, we're committed to being the best company. Thanks to Bruce T. Mulhern, we have a great sales organization, and we're implementing technology. But the reality, technology doesn't make us sales. It connects with people who already know us. Reach out, be part of the solution. And the reality is, no matter what nationality we are, we're people. All people matter. Men, women, children, we all matter. Treat people with respect. Look at the good in others, because there's a lot of great things that don't always show up. So thank you for being part of our team. Benny and John is our management team. We're keeping them busy, but they can handle and step up. I believe Thomasina's on the call as well. So I appreciate it. Is the first female partner on a business level I ever had. I've had a broker I worked for previously for 10 years before I bought his company, then Bruce Mulhern. Now I have a female that runs my personal life, and it's my wonderful wife, so I'm lucky to have her. So I got 2 great females backing me up in leadership, but also in support with others. So thank you, everybody. Just want to have a few minutes to communicate. I need to be better. Thank you all for being part of our team.
Thank you. Thank you. John Greer, can I have you just so that we can introduce you to everybody that might not? Are you there?
I'm here.
There he is.
John Greer has a face for Zoom calls. I don't.
Right?
I'm so jealous, John.
Hey, everybody that's new to the Cypress office, that's John Greer. He's our
John
co-owner
Greer, yes.
at the office. So, if you ever need any help and you see him walking around, make sure to grab him. He's a wealth of knowledge. Over how many years, John, in real estate?
Only 44.
There you go.
44. Ooh, John, you started right out of kindergarten, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys. So a lot of experience and knowledge. So use that to your advantage. That's what the resources are here for. So,
Benny, just to kind of piggyback what you kind of opened up with on, having fun with the business and loving what you do and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways for us to earn a sale or a listing, and not everybody's good at all of them. And I know I started with Rosie, and I know she had commented it helped her, is to find something that you might actually enjoy doing in the area of prospecting and get really good at it. Take massive action and forget about the other stuff. It really helped me to step up my career in looking at the different areas that you can prospect. And I was farming, I wasn't doing it right. And so I dropped other stuff. I had more time to farm. I put my budget towards it. And for me, that really, I wouldn't have been in the business this long if I didn't enjoy it. So find something you like to do and you'll really excel in this business. And Benny, I was thinking, you know what, we've got a lot of people joining the office recently that we haven't done this in a long time. I'm gonna put together a potluck. Nice. I think that way we can meet everybody and they can meet us and have some good food.
All right, sounds like a plan. So everybody look forward to that. We'll give you more information on that in a few days.
I haven't got that approved with Dennis yet, so I'll work on that out.
No, go ahead. Hey, John, anytime you can do pot and have luck, good for you, my friend.
All right, that'll be.
I will be out there, John, okay? Not for the pot, for the luck. Okay?
Dennis, you mentioned that you missed your calling in radio. I think you missed your calling in being a comedian.
Well, no. If I was a good comedian like my cousin George Lopez, who's not the comedian professional, I would not be a real estate broker, but... No, see, I had a great time last year. It was in July that I went out there to have some fun with some of the agents in Cypress. So I look forward to the next.
Awesome.
I guess having fun with the Cypress agents was great. So. Very
well. All right, guys. I have a little bit more to share with you real quick. I'm going to fly through it. Hopefully you don't mind that I do that. But let me go back into here, and you can see my screen. Yes. All right, and I don't know, Steph, were you on the call? I don't think I saw her on there. Anyways, please keep her in mind for your home warranty needs. Stephanie Pagan with First American, always an amazing affiliate. Probably been working with her since 2008. So really a great person and very resourceful. So also Property ID. We haven't seen much of Rika Fernandez, but keep them in mind with all your property ID needs. So back to basics. I just wanted to really end the meeting with this because, like I said, a lot of people have been coming to me saying, hey, Benny, can we do open house? Can we do can we do a door knocking? Can we drop off flyers at people's houses? Can we cold call? And the answer is pretty much across the board was no, right? The only thing I said you could do is showing homes. And at the beginning of all this, you had to have a mask, and you had to have gloves, and you had to wear booties, and they had to sanitize, and they had to do all these crazy things. I could only imagine myself wearing a spacesuit, showing homes. And luckily, CAR has been working close with OSHA, and a lot of that has been removed to the point where now all you really need is to have the PEADV sent over if that listing agent is requiring it, and wearing that mask to protect yourself, and obviously your client's wearing a mask. But as far as like the prospecting, it's still been very limited. And one of the things that I have been saying for the last few months is, be in touch with your sphere of influence, reach out to people, ask them how they're doing, if they need anything, do they need toilet paper, do they need sanitizer if you have some, things of that nature, of keeping in touch that way. And also I did mention to a lot of you saying, hey, ask and say, can I help you? I know it's tough times, but could I help you save some money? Yeah, who doesn't want to save money? Well, rates are down. Maybe I could put you in touch with a lender, or maybe you could walk into your branch or call your branch and refinance and save a couple $100. And here's the thing about that, right? On refis, you don't make any money, but how about talking to them about, hey, I heard that your son graduated college a couple of months ago. Would you consider buying them a home? It's one of the best investments on earth. Maybe if you refinance and get maybe, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000 cash that you could give them, they qualify as a FHA buyer, owner occupant. Why not? Help them create an investment for the future. So, just be a little bit more creative. But just with going back to basics, I just wanted to share a couple thoughts in that in a couple weeks from today, you're all going to be able to start door knocking again. You're all going to be able to start cold calling and dropping off stuff and mailing stuff over and doing your open houses again. So those are the basics, the basics of prospecting, right? That's not like, oh, I'm going to do social media. I don't think that's a basic. I think the basics are the old school, cold calling, door knocking, open house, maybe floor time, which we do offer here at our office. And once it does open to the public, we will be doing that, which we have always said that we are unofficially open to the public, as we never really closed. So, but those are the basics, right? So my question to you is, those of you that have asked me and those of you that haven't, my question is, will you commit for 90 days? Will you commit for 90 days to sticking to these things, right? And what do I mean by that? Do I mean, yeah, every Saturday for the next 90 days, I'm going to do an open house? No, I mean massive action. I was listening to somebody the other day, and he says 99% of your problems will be solved with massive action, right? One of my favorite real estate agents out in Dana Point, Bob Wolf, said that when he first got here from Arizona, he didn't know a single person. So he sat open house every single day for 90 days, right? I don't think the guy's ever done an open house after that. He got so busy and his approach wasn't even strong. It wasn't like, you have to sign in. I'm not going to let you unless you give me your phone number. His approach was just, hey, welcome. There's a park down there. There's shopping down there. The local grocery store is like two blocks down. Have a look. Can I answer any questions for you? Oh, the payment is this much. Did you know you could buy with only 3.5% down, 3% down? He was just a friendly guy at the open house. And now the guy has his own brokerage with a Bentley parked in the driveway that has 0 miles on it because he doesn't have time to drive it, right? So will you commit to work for the next 90 days once this all opens up at prospecting every day, taking massive action? And, think about that. Can you visualize working through it? I partnered up with somebody once, and we did 3 weeks in a row of open house, right? 21 days. And what did we get out of it? We actually got a buyer, and then we got a listing, right? So in a sense, I probably represented the buyer and, whatever in regards to the commission. But we got 2 deals out of it in 21 days. Would you like 2 deals in the next 30 days? Right? What does that calculate to in today's market? On the low, one commission is probably $8,000. On the high, one commission is $15,000, right? 30 grand in the next 30 days. Can you see yourself working though? Putting the time into getting that. You first must visualize yourself doing that. Mike Tyson says that every time he walked into the ring, he had, before he got in the ring, he had already saw him visualize himself knocking that guy out. You know, he said when he'd look in the guy's eyes, he knew he won already. As soon as he looked in the guy's eyes, he knew he won because the other guy's eyes had defeat in them. Can you visualize yourself knocking out 90 days of prospecting? Can you see yourself winning like Mike Tyson, right? What does that look like? You know, we always tell you to create a vision board, right? Another one that my friend says is, you know, you can have anything you want in life so long as you write it down, right? Put your goals to paper. You know, I like to visualize them. I do a vision board and I put, you know, a hot car on there and a nice house and things that I want to do in my life. But how about writing them down? You got to see yourself there. Take time to visualize yourself winning, getting to that end goal. I think for like people that run marathons, they, you know, in their mind, they see themselves crossing that finish line at the end, right? Looking cool, standing up with their chest out, puffy, because they did something that a lot of people won't do, right? It starts in the mind. So can you handle losing though? Because you know what? There's no winning without failure. So commit to yourself to do 90 days, but it's going to happen. You're probably going to have a day or two that you don't go. Can you handle losing? And to lose is this way. Losing is not losing and that's it. You give up 100%. Losing is losing one day and letting it consume you only for an hour or that whole day, but not for the rest of your life. So you got to learn how to handle losing to be able to get back up and move forward and push through to the next day, right? Oh, I didn't do the open house yesterday. I'm just going to give up. I'm not going to do it. Oh, you know what? I'm late to the open house. I'm an hour late to the open house. I'm just not going to do it anymore. You lost an hour. That's it. Do the damn open house, right? So can you handle that? And what does that look like? I guess I just described that, right? That's what it looks like. It looks like, you know, realizing, hey, I lost something, but I'm going to keep going. Number 7, are you being honest and realistic with yourself? So if you do set a goal like this, you know, like I said earlier with you guys, I took a park bench for granted, right? And tons of other things, right? Walking on the beach, going on a hike, you know, all these things that when they put the stay-at-home order in place, you know, I said, you know, man, I wish I could do that, and I couldn't, right? Well, a lot of people ask me, can I do open house? Can I do door knocking? Those of you that asked and those of you that didn't ask, it doesn't matter. Are you being honest and realistic with yourself? Do you really want to do that? Do you really want to succeed? Do you really want to have a Rolls-Royce convertible parked outside? Do you really want to take your family to Walt Disney World? Do you really want to take your significant other to Europe? Right? I heard of someone out in the Midwest that, you know, he coaches real estate agents, and he says, you know, he has them write down what their major goal for the year is. And for an older lady, it was take all my grandchildren to Disney World. And whenever she wouldn't show up to the office to prospect, he would call her and go, well, why are you, why are you not going to take your grandchildren to Disney World? Or something like that. Like, oh, so you're not going to do it anymore, right? You know, and he asked for permission to be tough, but sometimes you need that accountability, right? Sometimes you need to ask that accountability of your children. Danielle Kennedy said that, you know, her kids used to ask her every day, Mom, did you sell a house? Mom, did you sell a house? Mom, did you sell a house? Finally, she got so fed up. She goes, no, I didn't, but I'm about to sell this damn house, you know? So, you know, are you being honest with yourself, and are you being realistic? Do your actions match your desire, right? I've got agents that tell me, man, I need to be making 40 grand a month. Well, are you showing up to the office at 8 a.m.? Are you putting in the hours? Are you going on the appointments? Are you doing the prospecting that you have to do, right? Do your actions match your desire? Because I'll tell you, any athlete out there that says they want to be, you know, number one, look at, you know, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, injured, but he'd go and he'd rent a court and shoot free throws all day with one hand. I mean, do those actions match his desire? I mean, gosh, for everything that he's got, I mean, he deserved it. Michael Jordan, right? Says he's failed so many times, but yet he succeeds. Would you place a bet on yourself? If you were a horse, and you had to win the race at Los Alamitos, the 8 race on Friday night, would you put $1,000 to win on yourself? If the answer is no, you just need to go back and work on yourself. You know what? I work on myself every day. I'm not perfect. John Greer works on himself every day. A lot of our agents in here work on themselves every day. Everybody in every industry, you got to perfect yourself. You know what? There's amazing police officers and there's regular police officers, right? There's amazing teachers and there's regular teachers. In every industry, there's, you know, the top and there's the average, you know, but the question is, would you place a bet on yourself to win? Do you believe in yourself? And the last thing that I always say, and it's not to guilt you, it's just true honesty in life. You know, today I was listening to Les Brown, and Les Brown said, what are you going to leave behind as a legacy? Will the world know that you ever existed? I mean, of course, your family and your friends are going to know that you did, but will people really look back and go, wow, oh my God. He goes, God gave you a gift. What's your repayment of that gift? He gave you life. What are you repaying back? Right? And I don't know what that, you know, I don't think that me being here in management is probably repayment. I don't know. Maybe it's me helping people buy a house, or maybe not. Maybe it's something bigger than that, right? Maybe I need to win the lotto and like end world hunger or something. But the question is, will your family be proud of you or will they feel embarrassed for you? You know, when you go on a listing appointment, if your parents or your family, if they're your children, if they were flies on the wall, would they be like, go dad, go mom, you're awesome, wow, you kick butt, you're the best at what you do? Or would they go, oh my gosh, I don't want anybody to know that's my mom and dad? You know, and that doesn't mean that you're no good. It just means that you got to practice. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of competition right now that things are halfway open. I guarantee you, July, August, September, there's going to be massive action with these low rates on real estate and a lot of competition. And back in 2006, 2007, that was going on. And I met people that never made a sell back then. So it's not the market, it's you. So now more than ever, you're going to have to take massive action in prospecting and educating yourself and attending the trainings to be ready to strike, because I'm guaranteeing you that these next 6 months, guys, are months of opportunity and big things are going to happen. And the choice is ultimately going to be yours, whether or not you're going to be one of the shining stars or whatever. And again, you know, I share with you guys that I have big goals, but you know what? Maybe your goal is just to take your family to Walt Disney World for the summer. And Benny, I just want to sell 2 houses. I'm going to make 20 grand, 30 grand and take the kids to Walt Disney World and splurge on them, my grandchildren. That's cool. If that's your goal, that's awesome. But let's do it. You know, hey, Benny, no, I want to sell 20 houses this year. I want to make $250,000. I want to buy an investment property. Great, let's do it. Tell me whatever your goals are, and then show me your action. With that, thank you for being on the call, everybody. Please stay strong. Oh, wait, before we go, real quick, I'm not done. I want to share a video with you. Can you still see my screen? All right, here we go.
So within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have something that we are supposed to do, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. And when you know that, you can feel it in your guts, and you know that you're deliberately operating below your potential, you've gotten comfortable, you stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. Let me share something else with you. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. I was in my comfort zone. I was doing just enough to get by. I was working on a job. They paid me just enough to keep me from quitting, and I worked just hard enough to keep from getting fired. How many know people like that? Blink your eyes if you understand what I'm talking about. I was parked. I knew I could do more. Life's going to happen to you when you have a dream. You're going to get slapped around. And don't take it personal. Don't ask, why did this have to happen to me? Why not you? Who would you suggest? You want to give us some names, some email addresses? And don't tell everybody. 80% don't care, and 20% glad it's you. It's called life. Suck it up and move on. Get over it. Here's the other thing is you look at your goals and look at your dreams. When you're going through some stuff, when things go wrong, don't go with them. When you're working on a business deal, you're counting on some money. Someone said you will get the loan and it falls through. You have an event and the people that you thought would be there and support you, they don't come through. Or someone turns against you or you get ripped off. It's going to happen to you. It's not personal. It's going to happen to everybody. It does. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. Walt Disney had 7. He filed bankruptcy 7 times and had 2 nervous breakdowns. It's called life. But I got a saying, when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. You've got the power in you to do that. You've got something special. You've got comeback power. Take ownership for your life. Nobody can live your dream for you but you. Nobody's going to take care of your business like you. Stop coming up with excuses. Don't give yourself permission to continue to live a small life. You can't fit a big dream into a small life. Give yourself permission to go for it, to test yourself, to challenge yourself, to live full. Like the saying, always strive to get on top in life, because it's the bottom that's overcrowded.
All right. Very well. Thank you for being on the call, everybody. Let's come back strong. Let's kick some butt. Summer's going to be awesome. I hope you guys will kick some real big butt for the next rest of this month and maybe a little bit of July, so we can all hang out at the beach in August on my birthday. How's that sound? Cool? Make it a great, amazing week. Talk to you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Adios.